Learning to be in the present is a very important component in being alive, because being in the present is the only moment we have. If you're going to be living in the past or living in the future while appearing to be in the present moment, then you'll never have the experience of that moment. It will come and go without you having had a real experience of living in the present. I think that living in the present is very demanding on us because it asks us to sacrifice a certain amount of control. And because we all believe we're in control almost all the time, it's a hard thing to do, to surrender the past for the temporary, surrender the future for the unknown, and just remain in the present. You ready for another exercise?
Yeah.
All right. This will be taking the stuff that we're talking about here, because we started to see how working together in little groups moves things along, and at the same time, there's a process happening in the whole group. So are you getting a sense of that?
Mm-hmm.
So now, if I ask you to spend some time being in the present, for all of us to be in the present, is that something you're interested in? And seeing what that's like to be in the present and whether or not you can stay in the present? And then we can have a discussion about this afterwards? Okay, so what I'd like you to do is be sure that everybody can see each other. Feet firmly on the ground. No leg crossing, no arm crossing. Okay? What we're going to do is a distraction exercise. We're going to get into anything at all that's distracting you from being right here, right now. Okay? And the way we do a distraction is we state facts of the distraction first. What are the facts of what's distracting you? And then after that, your feeling about your distraction. So, I'm going to ask you all now, is there anything from outside that's keeping you from being right here now inside? Is there anything from the past that's keeping you from being in the present? Is there anything from the future that's keeping you from being here in the present? Is there anything from your reality that's keeping you from being here in the present in reality? So, feet flat on the floor, hands loose by your side or on the desk. Anybody distracted by anything? Okay, you're very brave. It takes a little courage.
I have a test after this class, so that's the future.
Okay, well, it's distracting.
Yeah.
Okay, so the facts of your distraction are you have a test. Now, to resolve the curiosity of the group, the test is in
Science.
what kind of science?
Geology.
You have a test in geology after this class.
Yes, I do.
Okay, and are there any other facts we should know about this?
I have to be able to identify a whole bunch of rocks, and I think I'm ready for it. But there's so many rocks, and I don't know which one she's going to give us. So I'm really worried about that. I know it sounds retarded, but I really want to do well on it.
If you say it sounds retarded, what are you doing? You're labeling yourself, and you stop working. So the facts of your distraction are that you have an exam in geology. It's going to be on all the different kinds of rocks. Did you study for it?
Yeah, I did.
You study for it, you really want to do well on it, and you're a little worried about being able to identify the rocks. All right?
Yeah.
Okay, and the feeling?
Maybe a little fear.
Fear. Okay, I'm going to ask you to bring your fear in. And I'm going to ask you to bring your fear in by going around the room and making eye contact with each person here. Okay?
Okay. Like no?
Like now?
Look at everybody.
You can either start on your left or your right, or pick
Okay.
anybody in the room and just touch eye contact with everybody in the room.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Did you get everybody?
Yeah.
That was pretty fast. Okay, are you feeling more here, less here, or the same?
I'm feeling a little more here.
Okay. Good.
Because everybody's like attention is kind of like right there. Right here, actually.
So it's hoping you'd be more here now?
Yes.
Okay. Anybody else have a distraction? Yes.
Right here, actually, I have a distraction of keeping my legs up. I keep on like this or like this. So that's a problem. So I keep on going like this.
Okay, and how do you feel about your distraction of having trouble keeping your legs?
Because I have to think about it. The fact that I have to keep myself like this and like this. Because I'm so used to sitting like this. Ever since I was little in my country, we always sit like this. I never sit like this.
Okay.
So it's
And the feeling?
it's annoying.
Yeah, irritating.
Yeah.
Yeah, so bring in your irritation and make eye contact with everybody
Okay.
here.
I didn't.
Yeah. Are you more here or less here? More here or less here or the same?
Still the same.
Still the
No,
same?
it's not. You're not crossing your legs.
Yeah,
You're
but
completely
that's because
still.
I'm thinking about it. I have to keep myself.
Okay, but now you brought your irritation in the group and people know your irritation.
Yeah, you know, especially her. So she
Okay,
keep my
and people now know that you have brought your fear into the group, and that's where you are right now. So we have two emotions in the group that weren't here a little while ago, fear and irritation. Yes?
I just have a question. Would it hurt, like, you know, being uncomfortable being in the present, though? Because I know I was, like, uncomfortable, like, being in, like, I hate these chairs in the classroom. I one of them. And this because I'm, like, I was focused on not being comfortable, but that's kind of, it's still in the present, isn't it? Like, I wasn't thinking about...
No, if you're feeling uncomfortable and it's keeping you from being here, when you are feeling, then watch that leg.
I always do that.
But when you do that, when you shake your legs, right, or anything else that's a body movement really in this group, you are discharging some of your emotional experience. So the rules of this group are very tough, very difficult, because it's asking you to suspend how you normally live in the world for the length of the group to see if you can stay in the present, stay hooked up to your experience. So when you are not sitting in a comfortable way, what's the feeling? Don't tell me you're comfortable.
Like, I would say agitation.
Agitation, irritation. Okay, so now we have two people with irritation. Would you bring your irritation in and check in with everybody? There goes away.
It's unconscious.
I'm making it conscious. Are you more here, less here?
Probably not. I'm always focusing on other things that, like distraction.
Do you have another distraction?
That's just the way I am. I'm just like, oh, distractions. Anything else but what's going on.
So I want you to notice what happens to you if you stay with what's going on and you keep bringing yourself back from your own distractions.
If I try and like focus, then
Yeah.
my eyes get all glossy, and then I focus on that. So
Okay, and what happens, what's the feeling when your eyes get all glossy?
I guess like nervousness, like anxiety.
Is it anxiety? Okay, do you know what the symptoms of anxiety are? There's 5 of them. No?
Maybe like increased heart rate.
Increased heart rate, that's right. What else?
Irrational fear.
Well, that's a thought. What's the actual physical experience of anxiety? Increased heart rate is one. Anybody else want to? Sweaty palms, okay. Right. Anything else?
My mouth.
Dry mouth, exactly.
Probably something with respiration, reduced respiration, or shallow respiration,
Yes.
rapid respiration.
Well, it usually kind of moves down to your stomach and it comes out as butterflies in your stomach because the respiration changed. Okay, butterflies in the stomach. Right? So what do we have? What's the missing one? Cold fingertips. All right, sweaty palms, cold fingertips. All right, butterflies in the stomach, dry mouth, increased heart rate. Joe, how many of those do you have?
My hands are always cold.
No.
My heart rate probably increased. Maybe my palms are sweaty.
Okay, so you have quite a bit of anxiety. And is the anxiety coming from a thought, or is it coming from a feeling you don't want to feel?
I don't know.
Take a minute then. Where do you think your anxiety is coming from? 3 places anxiety can come from. Come from a thought, making you anxious. Come from a feeling that is covering up another feeling that's too uncomfortable to feel. Or it could come from fear of the future, not knowing what's going to happen next.
I have to think about that for a while.
All right, you
Can I
want
go back into it and think of like what I was thinking?
Okay, will you bring it back in when you connect to it?
Yeah, if I remember.
Okay.
Like consciously think, oh, I'm doing it again.
Right, okay. So in the meantime, you kind of concentrate on being here, just being here now, and catch that leg when it starts to shake, and see what your experience is for the next little while, okay? Okay, anybody else with a distraction? Yes?
I have a, I guess, a distraction in the
And,
future.
let me get your name.
Michelle?
Michelle,
Yes.
sorry.
I had to go pick up my cap and gown today, which makes me think of graduating, which makes me think of not getting a job and blah, 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 blah. so,
All
yeah.
right, now, notice the blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
So you just started to let go of a feeling, you started to discharge a feeling, right? If you didn't do the blah, 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 it would help you to get more to what's going on inside. So let's run that one from the beginning again. All right, you gotta go get your cap and gown is the first fact.
Yeah.
You're thinking about graduation is the second fact. What's the third fact?
Moving out of the city.
Moving out of the
home,
city. You gonna move
finding
home?
Yeah, I have to.
You gotta move home because of economics?
Yes.
Right, haven't found a job.
Mhm.
Okay, any other facts we should know?
No, that's about it. Just,
And you're feeling about the facts.
yes.
What is your feeling about the facts?
Bad anxiety.
Bad anxiety. Now,
Every time I think about it, I get really nervous.
so what's the anxious thought?
That I'm not going to find a job.
Okay, now let me ask you, when you make the negative prediction that I'm not going to find a job, how do you feel?
Nervous.
Nervous.
Yeah.
What data do you have to substantiate that you're not going to find a job?
Nothing real. I guess. I don't know.
Okay, so
Just,
pay
just that I
attention.
hear other people.
No, pay attention. If that's hearsay, that's not data, right? That's hearsay from other people.
Right.
Notice how, when you have a negative prediction that I'm not going to get a job, you wind up making yourself anxious, right? And if I ask you what the data is, you don't have any data. So you're at a fork in the road here. You can keep making yourself anxious with a negative prediction for which you have no data, that you're not going to find a job, or you can back up on the fork and you can pick something else. And I recommend curiosity. What if you stay with your curiosity instead of making yourself worried with a negative prediction that you have no data for? Okay?
Makes sense.
All right. Good. Anybody else have a distraction? Yes.
It's similar to hers. I'm thinking about the future, but I'm holding myself back because of economic, obstacles. I really want to go to grad school. I want to get my PhD, but it's tough for my parents now to pay for school as it is. So I'm like, reality's slowly getting to me that when I do get a job, I'm going to probably have to take the responsibility solely on myself. And that's something I'm sort of looking forward to because I'm going to grow as a person, but it's scary because I don't want to be, 28 and deeply in debt. And really the future's really almost uncertain. I have a lot of goals and expectations and motivations, but it's almost sometimes they're being weighed down by what almost cannot happen. Like I can't reach it.
What's your negative prediction?
That I won't get a job, or if I do, it's going to be much later than I anticipated.
Okay.
I'm going to start off with something very, very low, and I'm a good student. I work hard. You know, I feel like I deserve something, you know, that's worth it.
How do you feel when you make all those negative predictions? I'm gonna get a low-paying job, I'm
Right.
not
I
gonna
feel
get
like
it.
I'm in a boxed in a corner, you know, and
What's the feeling? Boxed in the corner is not,
angry to a certain extent.
Angry?
Yeah, angry
Uh-huh.
almost at myself for letting it get to me.
Okay.
I hear when you're telling her, you know, try to channel it into like more of a curiosity, but I don't know. Sometimes I tend to like make things a little more negative.
You okay?
all right, so if you tune in here, you're also making negative predictions.
Right.
You're making yourself anxious, you're making yourself irritated, right? And what data do you have?
When it's, for instance, I selectively read like the newspaper, for instance, and I read the economy still not that good, and I read that college grads are having such a hard time, and I focus so much on that rather than, well, I as an individual, I have to keep pushing and finding it for myself. I'm not. Hopefully, I won't be in that percentage where I'll be stuck like everyone else. But it's like such a like widespread phenomenon.
So you really don't know.
Right, but I
It's not part of that
selectively read things that forces that negative feeling, like, oh, I'm just not gonna get it, you know?
So you don't collect complete data.
Right, in a
You're
sense.
collecting very selective data that's leaving you feeling terrible.
It's almost like hope for the best and expect the worst,
Uh-huh.
sort of thing.
Well, isn't that safe?
It's not good.
Okay, so could you bring your irritation in
Okay.
that this is what you're
I don't want to
fighting
bring it out on anybody, but okay.
Beg your pardon?
I said I don't want to bring it out on anybody. I mean, just like focus on.
No, just go around with your irritation so that people in the group and you connect with your irritation, and you're not the only one in the group with irritation this morning.
Yeah.
Just go around and make eye contact and see what happens.
See everyone smiling. That's good. It's a good sign.
So you're more here, less
Yeah,
irritation.
I'm much more here.
Okay. All right, so far we have an irritable group, and we have, what other groups do we have? We have a job worrying group, right? Anybody else have a distraction? I'm gonna leave you last. And you have a distraction, okay. Let's.
Right now, what my distraction is, I guess, is what am I going to eat in 1 hour when I'm meeting with my friend? Because, like, we always, like, sit there and, I don't know, we always sit there and discuss, okay, what are we going to eat? What are we going to eat? What are we So, I don't know, I guess I'm trying to see what's good to eat in 2 hours, the next 2 hours. What am I going to eat?
What?
This is what distracting me. I mean, I'm being honest with you.
Absolutely.
I mean, I do worry about my future, but I'm not going to sit there right now and say, okay, you know,
So,
what am I going to do
now,
when I graduate?
When you jump out of being here in the present with the group, when you jump out of being here with the present and you go to the future, then what am I going to eat? What am I going to eat? What's the feeling that goes along with that?
How am I feeling, like when I'm going to be with my friend, or
What's the feeling when you're sitting here now with these people in your
Curious.
class? Curious. Okay, so you're curious about what you're going to eat. So would you bring your curiosity in? Just come around the room and make eye contact with everybody with your curiosity. More here, less here, or the same?
same?
The same. Okay.
Same.
Do you have another distraction that's keeping you from being here?
I have a few, yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, nothing that I would want to discuss right now.
Okay, fair enough. And you have a distraction.
I have a whole bunch, but I went to Michelle and Jen started talking about school. I'm supposed to graduate next January, and I kind of all of a sudden decided that I don't know if I want to do what I came to school for anymore. So I'm a little bit frustrated and nervous about that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the facts of your distraction are,
It's okay.
here you are on the verge of graduating, and in what major?
Psychology.
in psychology. And as you were moving toward graduation, you suddenly think, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Maybe I want to do what?
I don't know.
I don't know what I want to do, but maybe psych's not for me.
Well, I picked up a minor in criminal justice because I want to go like into that aspect, but I just don't know if I want to do that anymore.
If what?
I just don't know what I want to do anymore.
Aha. And so how do you feel when you put in all this time and you put in all this energy and you're almost at the end of the race here and you're not sure this is for you? What's the feeling?
It's really frustrating because I'm trying to like graduate a semester early on top of everything. So I'm just kind of the opinion that maybe if I took that extra semester, I would have really known what I wanted. So it's just kind of frustrating to work so hard and not know what you want.
And how do you experience frustration? As tension, as anxiety, or as irritability, or all of the above?
Kind of all of the above. It depends on what else is going on.
How about right now, right here?
Right now it's more so like a nervousness. I don't know if that really falls under any category in particular, but it's more of a like nervousness because I have to sit here, but that's also on my mind. So trying to be in two places at once and it just doesn't work.
Okay. Now, it sounds like there's a lot of worry and a lot of anxiety here. And what if I ask you the same question I asked a couple of other people here, to switch your worry and anxiety while you're here with us today to curiosity? And see what it's like to be curious here with us instead of making yourself anxious.
I guess the curiosity also leads to more anxiousness for me because it's like, well, I could do this or I could do that, and that can go in so many different directions too that I think that actually makes me more anxious about what might happen.
So it's fear of the future. Okay. A lot of people have fear of the future.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What's that like?
Scary.
Scary.
This is your future, and you don't want to like screw it up. I'm sorry. You know, I mean,
No.
you want to.
But I want you to notice you're using the third person instead of the first person. This is my future. I'm worried about screwing it up. Me. I'm talking about me.
So you want to put it as first person?
Yeah, I want you to talk
Okay.
first person.
I guess. Yeah, I have fear. I mean, I want to have a good future. I want to be able to provide for my family in the future. I want to have a good job.
Sure.
And it kind of starts when I'm in college. If I don't do good in college, then it kind of affects everything else.
Sure.
So it is scary.
Okay. Anybody else resonating? Yes, eye contact?
I'm actually not. Well, I worry about it, but I try not to focus on it that much because I feel like it's only putting more pressure on yourself. Like people base college, like they say, well, if I don't do good in college, then I'm never going to get a good job. And if I never get that good job, it's just, I'm not going to do good. And you're thinking 10 years along the line, but you don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. So focusing that much on the future, I think sometimes is a waste of time because you really don't know what's going to happen, regardless if you have everything in order and something will come along and just sidetrack you. So to focus that much on it is just a waste of time sometimes, and that's how I think. And I try not to focus on the fear. And when I do, I try to bring myself back and think, well, you really don't have that much control over it. So how could you focus on it that much? Like, be safe, but don't make it control like exactly what you're going to do. At least that's how I think.
Okay, you're shaking your head a lot, so put it in words.
Yeah, I agree with her. Like, because I know that if I think about my future, like 5, 10, 15 years down the line, I'm going to stress myself out to like no extent, and it's going to be the main focus, and I'm not going to worry, and I'm not going to like know what's going on now. Like, I just take it like one day at a time, see how each day comes, what it brings. Like you said, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Like, anything could change like the course of a day. So to worry about, your future, I mean, yeah, I think about it and everything, but I don't focus my whole life around it because I'll just take one day at a time, see how things come, and see what opportunities come to me. Because anything can change in a matter of a day.
Okay, now I want you all to jump in. You don't have to raise your hand. Okay?
Well, in regards to what you guys were saying, is that I understand that aspect, but there's two things that's going on. First, you don't know what's going to happen in the future, so you have to prepare. So when it comes, you know how to confront it. Because empty-handed, you can't confront anything. And two, there's expectations. Like personally, I'm the first one to go to college. And I'm the oldest of all my cousins, so and in all my family, father and mother, they're expecting me to do the best. So that's a lot of pressure.
See, I have an older brother, and he's already.
I'm not like that. I'm the only child in my household, and then I'm the oldest cousin out of all my cousins. And everything I do, my little ones are looking at. if I make a mistake, I mean, right now they always compare me. Look, Meb's doing it. You're gonna do it too. So I have this fear and anxiety that why? If I make a mistake, everybody's looking at me, and I can't let them down, especially not my family. So it's two things that you're playing at, and of course it's gonna be stressful. It's gonna create a lot of anxiety.
Okay, who else is resonating? Just come in, keep eye contact with people who are having the same experience.
I agree with everyone here, but I mean, all these feelings and emotions and stuff everyone's feeling, they're all natural. Like what she said, what he said. I mean, I could feel that in a heartbeat because it's natural. It's part of
What are
growing.
you feeling?
Right now?
Right now.
Everything. Everything.
Well, you can't do it all. You can't do them all at the same time.
I mean, as far as school, right now.
Which is the strongest feeling right now here
Right
in
now,
this
I'm
group?
happy. I'm fine.
Okay, so you're feeling happy right now.
But I mean, things
Is
like
your happiness connected to other people having the same experience? Is that what the happiness is about, or is the happiness
just
about?
happy.
Good way to be, that's right. Okay.
But as far as all these feelings everyone's feeling, they're all natural. You can somewhat to an extent avoid them. You can deal with them. You can plan ahead. You can do whatever you have to do. But they're just natural feelings. It happens. You know, like there's not. Sometimes you just can't prevent them.
Okay,
As far
but
as
you are giving a wonderful intellectual explanation of what happens in our heads, which is fine, but I'm asking everybody today, for the length of this group, to stay with everything that's going on below the neck. So, move in a little bit more, it's hard to see you, and everything you're saying is accurate, but I want you guys to stay with your emotional experience today. Not, you know, it's a perfect explanation, but it's from him. So, are you feeling happy? The same word about feeling happy. What's that like? How do you experience it?
It's good. I'm comfortable.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I'm looking forward to a good day.
Okay, yeah. Now, where in your body is the happiness?
In my head.
So you're having happy thoughts.
Not happy thoughts. I just feel good.
Okay, and how do you feel good in your body? What does it describe it?
Got a good night's sleep.
Good
Glad to
night's
be
sleep,
here.
right?
Having a good class.
Yeah.
Feels good. I don't know.
Okay.
I think it's interesting that when she was talking about graduating and her anxiety about like, going into the job force and graduating, that I could relate and I felt anxious too. But then when she was talking about, you can't worry about the future too much, and it made me think like, oh, there's a lot of great things in the future too, and it made me happy. And I was really tired when I came in here. And I noticed how like my body changed. Like instead of me being like, oh, I'm so tired and leaning over and stuff.
Here's another happy guy. So I want the happy people to connect. I want the anxious people to connect, because we have two different groups working now. We have a mini group of happy people, and we have a larger mini group, not the whole group, but a mini group of people who are really worried about the future. Right?
Well,
So,
I kind of switched groups. Like
no, okay. I know you're a group hopper. I can tell that before.
Now I feel like my thoughts kind of changed my state.
Okay. So, and you are connected to the happy subgroup. Small but happy group, right? Okay. Yes, but that's the beginning of a group.
I think that people are feeling more anxious is because, like, I don't think we were really thinking about, what the future is until one person brought up and then another person's like, she's right. I am thinking about I don't think until one person brought that subject up, I don't think any of us was, me personally, I wasn't thinking about the future until like she brought it up or another person brought it up. I
But
think
apparently it's pretty strong in this room.
it is true, but
Right?
unless you bring like a certain subject up, I don't think.
Well, but what you're all saying is that one of the distractions you have from being in the school presently and being in this class right now and being in this group right now is what the hell's going to happen with my life? Where do I go from here? Am I going to have the money to do what I want? Am I going to wind up getting a job? Am I going to be living in the city, or am I going to be living in Indiana, next to a cow? It's all very scary, real stuff. And I think this is the point that I want to bring in the whole idea of chaos. Kill that phone. You all have a choice. You can make negative predictions. You can have positive mind reads. You can have negative mind reads, right, about what's going on. None of which count for anything except to make you anxious, upset, and scared unless you check it out. And if you can't check it out and you just don't know, then you've got a choice. You can keep keeping yourself upset, or you can move to curiosity. The reality is, we live in chaos. Nobody can tell me what's going to happen in the next 3 minutes in this room. Right? That's chaos. We don't know. We can make positive predictions. This guy's great. He's going to wrap it up, and we're all going to go out of here with jobs. Right? This guy is getting on my nerves. I find him totally irritating. Let's kill him. Right? But you have no way of knowing what's going to happen in the next 3 minutes until it happens. The only real moment you have is this moment that you're in. Everything else is BS. It either passed and it's gone, or it hasn't happened yet. But the only real moment you ever have is the moment you're living in. And if you don't stay connected to what you're thinking in the moment you're living in, and you don't stay connected to what you're feeling in the moment you're living in, then when you wake up one day and it's all behind you. Right? You only have this moment for this experience. And the whole point of this group and learning these techniques, most of which are pretty irritating, right? And most people find when I do this work that I am irritating because I keep you on track. I don't let you off the hook. I'm in a pain in the ass, but the stuff really works. So the next time you get caught in a negative prediction that you have no data for, or a positive prediction that you have no data for, or you're worried about what she's thinking about you and what he knows about you, you know, is this really true? There's one way to find out. What are you thinking about me right now?
It's really very interesting person.
Okay.
I know the subject is showing out very well, and everyone is sort of focused on it. It's out of distractions.
Okay. Now, are you feeling irritated with me?
No.
Okay. Are you enjoying this?
Yes.
You see how I'm checking out my mind reads? Okay. If you check out your mind reads, you're doing great. If you don't, you're stuck with a little bit of paranoia.